industry of direct selling before or outside of ACM. Have you all seen it before, right? And a lot of people know it's a great industry. There's a lot of money to be made. And I personally love the industry. And the first question people ask me, what's a couple keys to success in this particular industry? And I'll tell you the first thing is getting with the right company out of the gates. Does that make sense? Because imagine joining a company, you put your heart into it, you worked hard, you were passionate about it, and the company let you down. You didn't let the company down, but the company let you down and went out of business. How many of you guys agree that would be highly disappointing, right? Yes. And so that happens out there. So I'll tell you that a lot of people think getting with a startup company, or how many of your ground floor is the greatest place to be in a business opportunity? How many heard that lie, right? Yeah. Because if this was ground floor, that means you would be an experiment and hopefully we'll make it. Does that make sense? The best company to be with is one that's been around for a while, that has proven that what they're doing works, but at the same time, they have leverage for growth and future opportunity. Does that make sense? So we've been around for 26 years, and people always ask me, 26 years, did I miss the opportunity? Are you kidding me? Okay, when you look at the video and the presentations, we talk about $1 trillion industries with all the things that we do combined. Do you know if you go into ACN's busiest, 26 years, if you go into ACN's busiest city, where you have the most customers, the most IBOs and momentum, do you know today, we still have less than 0.25% market penetration. And that's an exaggeration because it's less than that. That means that 99.9+% of the people out there still do not know about us. They still are not our customers. They're not our IBOs. That means everybody you know, everybody you walk by, everybody you see, you drive by, they're not with us yet. That means, how many of you guys agree that's potential future business for all of us to get, right? Yeah. So we've got a solid track record of 26 years behind us, but at the same time, we're as ground floor as you'd ever want to be as far as future opportunity. And every time we launch a new service, 100% of the people are not our customers. Does that make sense, you guys? So when I say that to you, that gives me anxiety. And if you would have told me 26 years ago, I appreciate Bob revealing all these numbers, but 26 years ago, when we launched ACN, I was 26 years old. And when we kicked off the company, I actually did the very first presentation at ACN, like what you see here tonight, in January of 1993 outside of Detroit. And I'll never forget, thinking about how excited I was then, but I would have never thought I would be more excited 26 years later. Just like what Monica said. I would have never thought I'd be more excited now than I was then. And I am, because it was exciting when we launched it, but all the things that we're doing now and all the things that are coming, I can't catch my breath. It's like such an unbelievable opportunity. It's hard. If I wish I could take what I know and just download it right into your brain, because you've gone out here and go to work right now. Does that make sense? And that's the whole point of this, is to help you understand that. But the reason I say this to you is because how many of you guys agree that we've been around for 26 years, we've got an incredible reputation, great track record. There's a good chance that we're going to be around the next 26 years, right? So you can relax, you're with the right company. So people ask me, what's the number one thing of success? Get with the right company. Who feels pretty good about ACN? Right. The second thing that I say is success, forget everything else. The second thing, the key to success in our industry is if you happen to be lucky enough to get in the right company, but at the same time you happen to be even luckier and land on the right team within the right company, now the sky is the limit. And do you understand that you are exactly in the position that I just told you? The leadership that you have here running this area, this market, and the team that you want is the #1 team in ACN. As a matter of fact, every IBO in the world, whether you realize it or not, in every country we do business, are jealous of you sitting right here. They're jealous for 2 reasons. One, you're in Texas, and out of all the services that we offer everywhere in the world, because not everywhere is exactly the same, not all services are deregulated in every state. But all the things that we have, you have the best overall services and the best overall opportunity anywhere that we do business in the world in ACN. Do you feel good about that? So we're definitely jealous of you because of that, and more importantly, we're jealous because you are on the #1 team. Mike Mazer and his leadership team and his brother Pat, and the key leaders you saw here today, the #1 team with the #1 system in ACN. Systems are important. When you think about McDonald's, is that not only a historically successful company in the United States? Do y'all agree with that? It's because what made them so great was not their hamburger, even though it's decent, I guess. I don't want to, talk down about it. Someone like, hey, that's a pretty good hamburger. Don't talk bad about McDonald's, right? No, not the hamburger. What made them great was their system. Does that make sense? Who saw the movie The Founder when it came out, right? Yeah. And when you watch it, you kind of see what they did. They changed they changed business because of how they did what they did. And so I'm telling you, you're in the McDonald's of ACN with this system. It is the absolute best system you could have. So what I'm going to do is I want to just give you a couple things. I want to just hopefully help you get a little bit bigger vision, get to know ACN a little bit better when I'm done, by the time I'm done. And before I finish, I also want to give you a couple tips on how to make this work really, really fast. Is that fair enough? Okay, well, first of all, I could talk for 3 days, but so I can just calm myself down and try to organize what I want to say. But if you look at ACN, for anyone that's relatively new, in 1993, and I don't know if anybody remembers, but 26 years ago, the only service that was deregulated was the long-distance portion of your home phone bill. Does anybody remember that? Raise your hand if you do. Yeah. Now, I know if you want to raise your hand, you're dating yourself. Because young people go, what is long-distance phone service? They don't even know what it is. But back then, that was the only service that was deregulated. So when we started ACN, here was our initial vision. It was, you know what, we love the direct selling business. I think this is a true American opportunity. If you have heart and passion, there's not many businesses you can get in for $4.99 and be as successful as you'd ever want to be. You all agree with that? Yeah. Direct selling industry is awesome. But what we want to do different is instead of selling products, we want to simply sell services instead of products. Does that make sense? We love the idea of doing this, especially services that were essential to people's lives. Not trying to ask anyone to do anything different than they're already going to do. We only want to sell a service that people wanted and that people had to have. And that's how we started the business. And people thought we were crazy. They go, who would go with a long, what's so exciting about long distance? And what's exciting about long distance is it's an industry that already exists. We're not convincing anyone to do anything different than what they're doing. We're not asking for any money. We're not changing buying habits. We're simply offering a choice on a service they're going to use anyway. Does that make sense? Yep. So that's how we launched. And it was hard to get a contract when we started ACN because we were new. And so we didn't have the money to be our own phone company. We kind of looked similar to what you see here today, except we couldn't be the company. We had to partner with one to sell a service. And we looked for companies. We finally found someone that gave us a contract. It was a small company out of Ohio. The name of the company was LCI. And the guys that were running it, they just wanted to build that company up. They were small at the time. When I say small, they were like doing $300 million in revenue, which is big for a typical company, but for the phone business, small. They wanted to build that, so they were open-minded to giving people deals. So they gave us a contract, and reluctantly, but they gave us who's ACN? Okay, we'll give you guys a shot. They gave us a contract. We went to work doing exactly what you see here. Now, a couple things I want you to know, and I tell you this. The average person spent $15 a month on their long-distance phone bill. That's what it was. So that's the only revenue that we could generate from a customer was, what did I say? $15 a month. So how did we do? From start, doing exactly what you see here today, from start to 5 years later, we created, with a $15 a month customer, we created $400 million additional annual revenue for the company. We were their largest source for residential customers. We produced 90% of their residential customers, and we were their largest source for large business accounts because of relationships that we're talking about today. And so we did so much business for them that this company became a publicly traded company. All their stock was going crazy, and now they realized their ACN could leave them at any time. So they got worried. So they flew us in to kind of firm up the contract, if you know what I'm talking about, right? And the second meeting was so great. They were so nice to us. Hey, come on in, guys. How you doing? You're doing great, And they ended up basically giving us something that no company like us would get. And they gave us an equity deal. They said, look, we love what you guys are doing. We don't ever want you to leave us. But if we ever sell our company, or there's a change of control that we can't deal with, that we can't control in our business, we'll want to trigger an equity payment to you guys. We'll still honor the residuals as we're doing, but we want to do this. So that day happened. A company called, in 5 years, Quest purchased LCI. That triggered $80 million into ACN. Now, why am I telling you this story? Because first of all, how many of you would be excited if that happened to you? Let's be real. Would you be excited? Yeah. Okay. So here's what we did. We took every bit of that $80 million and we reinvested it back into ACN. And that is how we became the company that we are today. That's how we became our own phone company. If that day never happened, I don't know what we'd be doing today, but we wouldn't be sitting here. That's how important that moment in time was. But people go, I would have retired, if I took that money. No. We had a bigger vision than making money. If you have a vision, you'll make money. Does that make sense? And our vision is, and still today, to be the largest direct selling company of all time. Not the largest company of all time, the largest direct selling company of all time. And we will not stop until we are. For us to do that, we have to be over $10 billion a year in revenue. So we're not even close to our goal. Does that make sense? Yeah. But when we get there, guess what? All of you are going to be beneficiaries with all that revenue we're going to generate. So that was our vision. And so we started, I'll never forget it, a lot of things have changed over the last 26 years. I remember when long distance, who remembers when pagers, I remember when pagers was an exciting technology.
Yeah, baby.
How does this work again? I couldn't believe it. But I remember every time something new came, we would reinvent ourselves. Every so many years, we would take advantage of all the things that were coming with technology and think about it, it's not even coming close to slowing down. I remember when long distance became the entire home phone bill. We were excited, going crazy. I remember pagers. I remember when digital phone service came out. You could dial tone through talking through the internet. How many remember Vonage and that kind of guy, right? I remember we launched video phones. I don't know if any of you, if you're new, ACN was a pioneer in video phones. So if you have digital phone service and you had a video phone and someone else did, you could actually see each other. We used to do meetings, people laughed out. They go, I remember that old video phone you guys used to sell. It's funny now, but it was incredible then because we were one of the first people showing people how they could see each other with new technology, right? People go, I can't believe it, and I'll never forget the first video call, we're just looking at each other like, oh, and we didn't know what to say, how to act. But people were excited, right? And then do we sell video phones today, though? Yeah, actually we do. I don't know if you've seen this. It's a mobile phone. I say this because technology is moving fast. We didn't sell phones because we wanted to sell hardware. We sold digital phone service with video technology. Today we sell mobile phone service with what? Video technology. So we just evolve as things continue to evolve. I remember when we launched every service that we had, credit card processing, gas, electricity. Every time we open a new service, when I tell you the opportunity opened up to be bigger and bigger and bigger, the reality is we can't, in this room, we can't comprehend how big this opportunity is. What we do, why I'm passionate about ACN, why I love what we do, is because what makes us different is the purpose of our business. For example, if you look to the right, do you guys agree there's all kinds of companies selling the exact same services that we're selling, yes or no? Okay, why? Because it's a great business. It's competitive, it's great. Everybody wants to be in the business that we are in because it is profitable, and it's normally reserved for big business, right? And so that's awesome. A lot of companies doing the same thing we're doing, right? Look to the right. Are there a lot of direct selling companies out there today that offer business opportunities, yes or no? Yes. But we are the only company that combines all these services with a direct selling business and we put them together. Now I say only because yes, there are other companies, maybe regional, that are doing one service or two, but there's no company that offers all the services that we do. No company in the large 26 countries doing all the services that we do, and there's no company that offers a percentage of the revenue for getting those customers every single month. Which means we're the only company that pays you like big business. Now why is this powerful? And I hope your heart rate elevates just a little, because I want you to think about this. Why am I passionate about this? It's because what makes us different is we empower people. Okay, we empower people. That means you sitting in that chair. If today's your first day and you get started with ACN, you pay your $4.99, you get yourself set up, you get your online store, you go to work. Do you know that you sit in that chair going head to head with billion-dollar companies, and you can take as many customers as you choose to take and build a bigger business as you choose to build? Does that make sense? We empower people. I love what we do. I am so in love with our business because to me it's fun and it's exciting and it's unbelievably rewarding. It's rewarding when you make money. It's even more rewarding when you help other people make money. Does that make sense, you guys? And that's really what it's all about. So I'll tell you that things were great when we launched it. Things are great right now. A lot of you hear terminology. We talk about ACN Next Gen. All that is we are now again in the middle of reinventing ourselves. And in 2019, we're going to be launching all kinds of other services. We just made some, we did a YouTube Live event from the world headquarters in Charlotte, North Carolina. We kind of laid out what I call the tip of the iceberg of what we're going to be doing in 2019. So we didn't give a lot of detail. But I'll tell you that what we did tell you is not even the big news. That means there's things that I couldn't say. I believe, I'll be honest with you. We planned on telling you, but the I's weren't dotted, the T's weren't crossed, as far as the contracts being signed, so we weren't allowed to say it until those deals got done. Those deals are going to be done next week. So our big convention we're doing in Long Beach, if any of you know about it, it's happening 1st of December. We're going to lay out all the things that we couldn't even tell you on that live stream broadcast. And I'll tell you that all the good news we're delivering, the best news no one's even heard about. Your jaw is going to drop. And you're going to see ACN in a way and in a position like you never, ever thought possible. Does that make sense, you guys? Yeah. So we got exciting things coming. So I want to give you a couple tips. I'm going to give you 3 simple tips to think about, okay? Because to me, it's not what we do or how you do it. It's the mindset in which you do it. Does that make sense? We can stand up here all day long and say, hey, do this, do this, do this, and it's just words. But really, it's how you see what you do, and how you, in the way in which you do it, which will make all the difference in the world. Does that make sense, you guys? Yeah. So what are the 2? I like to tell people you got to keep this simple. And when I say simple, everyone says keep it simple. Keeping it simple means first, how do you look at the business? And how you look at the business is don't think of it complicated or complex or sophisticated. Because if I sit down with a very sophisticated businessman and they start asking me questions, or a business person, I'll say, listen, calm down, first of all, here's the way you look at it. Before you even do the business, you've got to look at it the right way. And how many of you guys, by the way, before I continue, really honestly would love to build a large ACN business? Yes, sir. Would you yes or no?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. If we started ACN from scratch, with a customer that generated $15 a month, and we created $400 million in revenue from scratch in our first 5 years on a $15 a month customer, why can't you? That's all I'm going to ask you. Because today, when you get customers, do you understand how much bigger your opportunity is than when we started?
Oh, yeah.
Who spends more money than $15 a month today on internet, wireless, credit card processing, home security, electricity? Does anybody spend more than $15 a month?
Yeah.
Do you realize that today, on a single customer, you can get 10 times the revenue that we could get on a single customer?
Yeah.
So what if you did the same thing? If you did the exact same thing we did, you and what you built underneath you, what's 10 times 400 million? Same thing, same customer base, 10 times revenue is 4 billion in revenue. Which means if you get 10 times less, you can do 400 million in revenue. I'm only saying this because why can't you build a $1 million business, or a $10 million business, or a $20 million business? The question is, you can, because the opportunity is sitting there for the taking. All these services, pictures a mountain of gold. You sign up, go after as much as you want. Just go take it. That mountain's so big that if all of us work together, we got our wheelbarrows, our ice picks, our shovels, and we cracked the way, we got everything we could take, and we ran back, and we looked back. First of all, you wouldn't even see a scratch on the mountain, number one. And number 2, the mountain would be bigger by the time we turned around. Because these industries are only big, they're the fastest growing industries in the world, they're still growing. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So who can get excited about that kind of opportunity? So I already know that it's there for the taking, and I already know every one of us would take it, yes or no?
Yes.
The question is, how do you take it? And that is why these trainings are so important, is because they're teaching you the simple things you need to do. If all of us do the simple things and we each do what we're supposed to do, it'll eventually add up to a lot. So I say, don't become sophisticated. Think of us as playing a game of ACN tag. First, think of it that way. That means, whoever's playing a game when you're a kid called tag, right?
Yeah.
If someone tagged you, you're it. Well, no, if you know the game, you don't want to be it. You have to go tag someone else, right? So the game of ACN tag is I tag you, you sign up, and the way you are not it is you have to go get 20 customers and go tag 2 other people. Get 2 other people to join your team. Now, they're it. You're not it. Congratulations, good job. But they don't want to be it, so what do they have to do? Get 20 customers, go tag 2 other people. Now, most people don't want to be it. What do they have to do? Get 20 customers, go tag 2 other people. Do you realize that if you just continue that process over time, you will build a massive business? Does that make sense? Eventually, you'll override tens of thousands of revenue. Then eventually, you'll open millions, override millions of revenue. And everyone who's playing ACN tag, eventually you'll override tens of millions of revenue. And then eventually, you get 50 to 100 million in revenue. Can you imagine that? Everyone playing ACN tag. The key is to what we do is no one person does a lot. We all just do a little, and it adds up to a lot. Does that make sense? So who can get excited about playing ACN tag, right? So if you want to be big, you got to think like that. You have to say, wait, what we do has to be simple. It's got to grow like a fire through a dry field. And if you have to have the mindset of that. So you want to keep it simple. Second thing, once you understand that, you got to understand that there's 2 simple things we do. And that's what we basically cover today. We cover, what are the 2 things we do to be successful? We get some customers, and we talk to some people about getting involved in the business. We get customers, we get customer getters. Say that, we get customers, and we get customer getters. That's all we do. And so let's say you set a personal goal, I'm gonna get 5, 10, 15, 20, 60 customer points. Great. You got time to do it, just get that done. But when you start building a team, it's all about just getting other people to get involved. So a couple key things. Customers. Let me talk mindset for customers first, then we'll talk mindset for building a team, which will change everything for you. When it comes to getting customers, and we stand up here and we say, can you do us a huge favor? How many of you guys agree that sounds pretty simple, right? It sounds so simple that the number one thing that I found that prevents somebody from getting customers quickly is they avoid doing exactly what we told them to do. Because it sounds too simple. As a matter of fact, 9 out of 10 people that I know that have done well in ACN, that have gotten a lot of customers, all started the business not doing it the right way, and then they eventually started doing it the right way. Does that make sense, you guys?
Yeah.
And why do people not do it the right way is because we're human. By the way, who in this room agree, who feels that you're coachable? Raise your hand if you're coachable. Are you coachable? Yeah. Okay. Who promises they're coachable? Okay, well let me tell the truth. I just like to tell the truth. The reality is every single one of us will go against every single thing that we're supposed to do in the business in every area. And then we eventually come back and do it right. Now why do we do that? Because we're humans. And humans, I don't know what's wrong with us, but humans just love to learn the hard way. Yes or no, right?
Yeah.
And they resist, right? And all of a sudden, now that they resist, if you do resist, you're not going to get great results. When you don't get great results, that's why people actually exit any concept or business, because they didn't get the results they wanted. And all I'll tell you is just remember I told you that. If you did the business in any way that you weren't supposed to, before you ever exit, just come back and say, you know what, maybe I should do it the way they actually showed me, and let me see what happens. And then you will find the same thing that we learned many years ago. And that is, if you try any other approach than the approach you're learning here, the only thing you will learn is that our approach is better than your approach. That's as simple as that. Does that make sense? And I don't say that in an egotistical or arrogant way. I'm just telling you that we've already done everything for the last 26 years, and we have narrowed this down to a proven science where A and B equals C. Does that all make sense, you guys? So if we were all in 7th grade, we would learn this business 100 times faster than if we're adults, because adults like to complicate and overcomplicate everything. Y'all agree with that?
Yeah.
So we gotta play a game of ACN tag, we gotta keep it simple and just do it the simple way. The reason the huge favor approach works, I actually learned it by accident when I was in the insurance business. When I was 20 years old, I was ambitious, and I always heard that if you go into sales, you could earn what you're worth. So I ended up going into the sales, and I used to sell health and life insurance. Now, life insurance, for a 20-year-old, you should be selling life insurance. First of all, 20-year-olds think you're going to live forever. Does that make sense? You can't even relate to the reason you need life insurance. I was the single worst life insurance agent you could ever have because I didn't get it, okay? But my boss tricked me, and he ran a contest. And I really wanted to get his attention. And basically, whoever got the most customers in a month won the contest. So I went to everybody I knew by accident, and I did the huge favor approach. And so I used to go to everybody and say, hey, can you do me a huge favor? What? Listen, I'm in this contest at work, and if you do me a huge favor and become a customer of mine. Well, what do I got to do? It's real simple. I just need you to buy a life insurance policy from me. And what do you think people said first? No, I know you don't want to. I don't want to sell it to you. I just need a huge favor to help you win this contest. Now, that's what I was saying. Does that make sense? And I didn't know what I was doing. And people go, okay, what do I got to do? It's real simple. I just need you to fill out this form. I need you to give me a check. I need you to fill out this bank form because that's got to come out of your account every single month. And just need to have a nurse come by and take a little blood out of your arm. Test you to make sure you're medically acceptable. And so I ended up winning the contest selling almost 50 insurance policies that month to people that didn't want it. I was selling something they didn't want, they had to pay for that they didn't plan on paying for. It just didn't even make any sense, but all these people did it. Why? Because they wanted to buy life insurance or they wanted to help a friend win a contest. Help a friend. And what I learned is so many lessons. Number one, people do not want to be sold. They do not want to be sold by you. No one likes being sold, no one likes selling. But people don't want to sell, but people will go out of their way to help you. Does that make sense? They'll go out of their way to help you. So I learned so many lessons when I actually did that approach. And this is all pre-ACN, so I'm just letting you know how this all came together. But when we started ACN, I thought, wait a minute. If I could do that good with the huge favor approach, now I didn't even know why it worked, by the way. I didn't know why it worked. It just worked like, I'd never seen it work like that before. But I didn't know why it worked. So I thought to myself, wait a minute, if I can sell life insurance that nobody wants, you have to spend money on that you didn't plan on spending, what if I could offer a service that everybody wants, needs, must have, and actually not ask them to do anything different than they're already doing, even save them money, and they don't have to give blood. I thought this is going to be a no-brainer, and it was a no-brainer. When we launched ACN, it's exactly what we did. Took our time, made sure people knew exactly how to do it. We walked them through it, and people were getting customers like, they're rolling in with customers like you've never seen before because of the huge favor approach. Now, the only thing I had is there was always people that said, how do I do it again? And they would do it. And there was this huge portion of people that would say, wow, listen, Tony, I love it, sounds great and everything, but I don't ask for favors. That's not me, you know? I do favors. I don't ask for favors. And they looked at a favor approach wrong. Now, I used to try to explain to them, I didn't understand why you weren't comfortable with it, and then finally, I learned why it worked. I was doing something at work, I didn't know why it worked. How many of you heard of the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie?
Yeah.
The whole book is a study and the answers to why some people are so influential over other people, why some people can get anyone to do anything. How many know when some people walk in a room, everybody loves them, right? They walk in a room and everyone goes, hey, you can just talk about their body language. Hey, look who's here. You ever seen something like that? You ever seen someone the exact opposite? Someone walks in and goes, hey, look who's here. It's better. Because why? What's the difference? What is the difference? And that's the whole point of that book. It tells you the difference. It tells you what people do that becomes super liked, tons of friends, and very influential. Well, one of the chapters, I read the whole book, it's got a lot of things. If you never read that book, read it. If you read it, read it again. Because implement that, it will change your life. But I remember reading that book, and I never remembered this one chapter. And I reread the book, and I got this one chapter, and I go, oh, that's the answer of why the huge favor approach works. And the whole chapter was about, it's called Words That Work. And the chapter was about how very powerful, rich people or successful people would get other people to do things by not telling them what to do with ego, but empowering them and raising them up. And the biggest phrase they would use was, can you do me a favor? So I'll give you like an analogy. A guy owns a big company, he's got a warehouse. He's got to get a bunch of stuff shipped tonight. And he goes down to the warehouse manager and says, listen, you can do one of two approaches. One, Bob, get over here. I need all this stuff created. I need a box created on those trucks and shipped tonight. Now, it's got to be out by midnight. Real simple. Get it out or lose your job. Go to work. Now, you can talk to someone like that, or you can say, hey, Bob, come over here for a second. Company's a big jam. We need you. Company's coming to you now because we need you to rise to the occasion. We need your help. We've got to get all this stuff boxed, created on those trucks, and shipped tonight. The reputation of our organization depends on it. And it's all right on your shoulders. And I'm coming to you as a favor. Bob, can you get this out tonight? Yes, sir. Okay, you understand what I'm telling you? When you ask someone for a favor, here's the psychology of why it works. A lot of people think when you ask someone for a favor, you lower yourself. That's not true. The person that can ask for a favor, when you ask them a favor, you don't lower yourself, you elevate the importance of another human being. And if you're the type of person that can elevate the importance of another human being, what you can get from people and accomplish is absolutely amazing. And that's the purpose of that book. So at every business person I know, at every level, the favor is key whether they realize it or not. You ever hear someone say, can you do me a favor and grab that? You ever say that? You ever see people? What sounds worse? Hey, grab that. Or can you do me a favor and grab that? What sounds better?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's humbling. It's elevating the importance of someone else. And that's why the favor works. So when you go to someone, you want to get customers, you say, you know, mom, or your friend, or your neighbor, hey, can you do me a huge favor? The reason it works is because it's not salesy, number one. You're elevating the importance of someone else, and people will go out of their way to help you before they ever do anything to be sold. Does that make sense, you guys? So mindset. How many of you can see how that would work now? Okay, so remember that when you do the favor, it's huge. When it comes to building a team, now I'm just giving you some mindset tips, because the way you see something it will make all the difference in the world. Building a team. How many of you excited about building a large team? Can we all be honest? Yeah. All right, so let's be honest. How many would love if you had 100 new IBOs join your team next month? This month. Are you excited? Yeah. Okay, so I want you to be real, of course. But at the same time, let's also be real. Who's nervous a little bit? A little nervous.
Oh, yeah.
Of course you're nervous, right? Who's like kind of nervous, like a little worried about whether somebody might like it, somebody might not? How many have that little feeling, right? So that's normal. But I want to lift that from you now, because the key to building I'll tell you the biggest difference between ACN and selling is we're not selling anything. I'm talking about building a team, you're not getting customers. When you're building a team, when we're out there and you're doing the home meetings, we're not doing a meeting to sit there and convince people and to sell them and make them join us. That's not what we do. Because we can't convince anyone to be open-minded. We can't convince someone to make the timing right if the timing's wrong. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So when you're doing a home meeting, you don't have to have any pressure on you at all. Just follow the system, invite the people to the house, knowing that if someone wants to do it, say, great. Hey, I want to do it.
Great.
Do it again. Hey, I love it. I want to do it.
Great.
Okay, now someone may say, I want to think about it.
Great.
I'm not interested. It's not for me. Timing's off.
Great.
Right. We don't care what the answer is. I don't want you to worry about what the answer is, because we're not, if someone doesn't want to do it, that's okay. The only reason someone's not going to get involved in ACN is the timing's not right for them. That's it. When you build a team of people that join your business, it has everything to do with the timing and nothing else. Does that make sense? Listen to what I'm going to tell you now. You know, the reason this team is showing you specifically how to do a home meeting, the most effective way to do it, is because all you're going to do is increase your odds by presenting this in the way that's most effective. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Well, let's just say you did everything sloppy. You did everything wrong. You didn't do it right. The presentation was just a disaster. Do you know that if you did a disaster presentation, some people will still say yes, some people will still say maybe, and some people will still say no.
Yeah.
So remember this. You cannot say the wrong thing to the right people. And you can't say the right thing to the wrong people. So it's not even important how you do it, it's important that you do it. Does that make sense, you guys? So when you do a presentation, don't worry if someone says yes. Don't worry if they say maybe. Don't worry if they say no. Because the whole thing is that when you can't control, we call them apples. We categorize people in apples. When you get customers or build a team, people are red apples, green apples, or we call them brown apples. Brown apples, the timing's wrong, they're not interested. Green apples want to think about it, no problem. Maybe they have some questions. And red apples are the ones that say yes right now, and they're excited. Okay, who loves red apples? Okay, we love apples. If anyone asks you what you do for a living, just say, listen, I sort for apples. It's a great business. You got to try it out. But the whole point is, whatever apple they are, they're that color apple before they walk into your house. Because it's outside circumstances that determine whether they're red, whether they're green, or whether they're brown. So we don't care. If someone's like, I'm not interested in your business, I don't like your business, and I don't like you. I'm like, okay. I don't like what you do either, but we can still be friends, I guess. But I say that in kind of a joking way. Because what someone's responses means nothing to me. Because we're not looking to we're not trying to make brown apples into green apples. We're not trying to make green apples into red apples. We're just looking for apples and letting them decide for themselves. And how do we let them decide for themselves? Just let them come to the presentation, watch what they're doing, and decide for themselves. Does that make sense? No pressure. No pressure. No quick sales. It's just as simple as that. So when you set up your PBR and you invite people to your home, I want you to do it in the most fun-loving way. Don't worry about the response. Because some of you have PBRs where every single person signs up. And you're like, and you think you're gonna motivate them? No, they're gonna motivate you. I want you to imagine a PBR, 30 people showed up, and all 30 signed up. Did you motivate them, or did they just motivate you? Imagine someone came to your house, saw the presentation, and they walk up to you and they go, I have never seen anything like this. You are so lucky you invited me. I'm not even doing this. I'm gonna make you rich. How many of you be like, okay. You're pretty pumped up, yes or no, right? So I'm just telling you, we don't let the cards fall when the cards fall. Because right now, when you go out and build this business, there's going to be a lot of people out there that the timing's not right, no problem. There's a lot of people out there that maybe they want to think about it, they have some questions, no problem. But guess what? There's a lot of red apples out there. You are in the best market in the world in ACN. When you look at this meeting, I'm going to give you a little vision, and this is a fact. This meeting one day is going to grow up to 500 people. Then it's going to grow to 1,000. Then it's going to go to 2,000. Then it's going to split into 2 and 3 and 4 meetings. You guys will have, in driving distance, you guys will do meetings where 4,000 and 5,000 people will show up. And guess who's going to override it? The people are doing it right now. Yeah. Texas. And as excited as people are, just wait until 2019. Wait till what people hear that's coming that they don't even know about. Does that make sense, you guys? So all I'm going to tell you is that you are in the greatest market, in my opinion, in the world in ACN. I'm the best team. greatest leadership, best system. And if anyone's brand new, you just gotta kind of relax and digest how the system works. Anything new is awkward at first, eventually it becomes second nature like anything else, and you guys are gonna reap the benefits of this huge potential that we have. So the third thing I want to talk about is, how many of you understand what I'm telling you so far? You following me?
Yes.
Okay, the third thing is probably the biggest thing that's going to help you build this business. And that is, I like being real. I don't like trying to overhype anything. Here's a fact. Who in this room has lives outside of this room? Yeah, that was a loaded question. We all have lives. We all have responsibilities. We're all busy. We all have issues. We all have problems. We all have everyone has lives. So the key to making this work is just say, you know what? Don't kill yourself in terms of this. Some people are lucky enough to start ACN and go full-time out of the gates. Great. Some people are working 2 or 3 jobs, a single mom. It's hard to do the business. So don't pressure yourself. Just say, okay, be realistic. Okay, I've got so many hours a week I'm going to put in this. And it's not important how much time you put in it. It's important that you do the things you're supposed to do in the time that you have. Does that make sense? Now, I know people always say to me, I'm a single mom. How can I possibly compete with a person who go full-time? Don't think like that. Because let's just say you bring one person in your team. One person. And that person happens to go full-time. Even though you can't, they are. You have full-time effort on your team even if you're part-time. How many think it's pretty cool that you can have 5, 10, 15, 20 people working on your behalf and they're winning and you're winning because you're overriding what they're doing? Is that cool, yes or no? Yes. As a matter of fact, there are some people who are so lucky they accidentally recruited the next person who became a regional vice president. How many would mind accidentally recruiting somebody who was a red apple, the timing was right, and they went to work, and they shattered all the records. They even beat you. Matter of fact, no one even knew your name, they just know their name. But you were forced to take all that overriding residual income. Does that make sense? That's really what it's all about. The key is doing what you're supposed to do in the time that you have, and don't kill yourself. So why am I saying this to you? Because how can you be effective doing this business? And here's how you become effective. Use the leaders. Use the company on the support systems they provide. I'll give you an example when I say this. This meeting is designed to do a presentation and a training. It's here every week. It's designed to just show the newest person how the business works and the simple things they need to do to get out of the gates. Does that make sense? Just how do I get customers? How do I still build a team? And remember when I first started, ACN Tag is about everyone getting a few customers and getting a few people in their business. Who get a few customers, who get a few people in their business, who get a few customers, who get a few people in their business. That's all this meeting is designed for, is just to show someone how to get out of the gates. A few customers, and how do I get a few people in business. You can put people in this room. Let's say you did a whole meeting, you got some interested people. You don't, and let me ask the question the right way, because I really want this to get in your head. And I ask it again, how many of you would be excited if this month you had 100 brand new IBOs join your team? Now, I always say, if you don't have the right system, be careful what you wish for. Because now you have 100 people that have questions that you have to answer. You have 100 people that need to get trained. You need to train them. You have 100 people that want to go to a home meeting. You have to go do them. Now, who's excited now? Okay? So I said, be careful what you wish for. Because now, let me take it back. How does it work? How does this work? If it's so, because we work together as a team. You have leaders that will come to that home and do the presentation for you. The leader will answer the questions for you. The leaders will help get your people launched for you. The leaders will invite the people here to get trained for you. The leaders will stand up here and train your people for you. They do all the heavy lifting. All you have to do is the simple things. You set your meeting up, you invite some people to the house the way you're supposed to do it, and let the leaders take it from there. Does that make sense? Now, that sounds great. Now you decide, going forward, how much leadership or activity you want to do personally. Some people in this room may never want to be in front of this room. Because how many of you heard public speaking is the #1 fear of life? Who heard that before? Okay? It's been said that people are more afraid of public speaking than dying. Okay? Who's ever had a dream where you're in front of people? It was like a nightmare, right? So, why is this important? Because if you never want to be up here, you don't have to be up here. We're a team. If the leader's up here showing people how to get customers, showing people how to build a team, and let's say you had half this room was on your team, but you weren't up here. You benefit from what the leader's doing. Does that make sense? So I'm telling you, I want you to think like that. Because all you have to do is you go to work, you get people in this room, and here's your Saturday, ready? You sit back and you relax. And you go, Mike Mazer, Better do a good job this week for me. Think about it. We work for you. We are your employees. Okay? Now, the reason I say that is because I always have to give someone the right mindset. When people think, oh, I got to go to a Saturday every week, you don't ever have to you have to go to one Saturday. You only have to go to one Saturday to learn the basics. Now, if you really want to get in, I'd go to two. That's up to you. You never have to come back to a Saturday again if you don't want to. See, these meetings don't take your time. You know what they do? They give you time. Because if you had 50 people in this room, either you could do 50 trainings yourself or put 50 people in the room and let the leader do it for you. Who would rather sit here for 2 hours than do 2 hours times 50? Does that make sense? And you can relax. See, I'm already getting overheated right now. I can feel it. I'm starting to sweat. So let the leaders do the work. So all I'm telling you is it's a team effort. We're here to help you, and everybody wins. You're building a team, the people are providing leadership here. Now, if you never want to be up here, you never have to be up here. But guess what? I already know there's people in this room that want to be up here. Like Vin, for example. I know Vin, how long have you been in business?
3 months.
3 months. 3 months, and I walked the room with Mike Mazer, and I saw you up here, and I go, that's Vin. I go, he's up there talking with passion and confidence like he's been doing this for 3 years. Now, how many love having a partner like that, right?
Yeah.
Because not everybody has to be up here. Now, you might be the type of person that says, I don't want to be up here, or you're like Vin. You say, you know what, I absolutely want to be up there. I want to run my own meeting. And guess what? We need you. If that's the way you think, get with the leaders, let them know who you are. Because we'll fast track you. Because how do you divide and conquer? We just get more leaders to help. There's 2 types of IBOs. Ones that lead and do the presentations and ones that participate. Everyone is equally as important and we all win. Does that make sense, you guys? Yeah. So all I'm telling you is no matter what your circumstances are, no matter what your background is, no matter how much time you have or don't have, we have a system and we work together as a team. Just get really good at using us. Use the meetings. Use your leaders. We have all kinds of meetings that we do. For example, this is done every week in this market. How many of you see the value if next week you had 20 new people join your business? Or you kicked off your first meeting with 20 new people? How many of you see the value of just telling people, you know what? Get to the Saturday, and that's how you're going to learn the business. Does that make sense? Yeah. People can say, well, how does the comp plan work? Great question, right, Monica? Great question. We're covering that all on Saturday. You know, hey, listen, I've never done anything like this before, not sure. Great question, great thought. Don't worry about that right now. Just get to Saturday. My answer to everything for anybody new is, don't worry about that. Great question, don't worry about that. Come to Saturday. Say that. Great question.
Great question.
Don't worry about that. Go to Saturday. Now, you don't tell a new person you got to go every Saturday. That's their choice. But they got to go to at least one. And if someone signed up, so I want to sign up right now, no problem, as long as you agree to go to Saturday. Because training is the most important aspect of this business. So people can learn exactly word for word how we get customers. Word for word how we build a team and how we work together. If people join your business, that's one thing. But how many want your people to succeed and do well, right? How? Get into the training. And you don't have to, you sit back, you relax, Saturday morning, a couple hours, and let everyone do their work, and you'll have people leave the training and go, you know what, I cannot believe this, I'm so glad you got me here, and they're going to run out, get 20 customers, and start introducing more people to the business. How many can see how this can start fueling, right? And that's what it's all about. Now, this training is here every single week. Every single week. Beyond this, they have Friday leadership meetings. You have to qualify to go. Just do a little bit. You know, why do they want you to do a little bit? Because that meeting's more about leadership, giving you the bigger picture, showing you how the comp plan works long term. Look, we're not doing this to make bonuses. How many of you are doing this to get wealthy? Okay, well that comp plan, I will tell you this. Our comp plan, the more you understand it, when you really understand what it means to be an SVP, you're not going to go to sleep at night.